first question is, what do you believe qualifies you to run for the school board? What do you want to accomplish? And how will you measure what you have accomplished? Again, what do you believe qualifies you to run for the school board? What do you want to accomplish? And how will you measure what you have accomplished? First person up is Mr. Parsons, Kenneth Parsons.
Good evening. First part of the question, as far as how I'm qualified to be a school board member. In the past, as an engineer for Verizon, I was in charge of a pretty extensive budget, a little bit more than the budget for the school board, but somewhere in that neighborhood. And over the years, I watched that budget shrink and literally go in half, and had to deal with how to adapt and overcome a shrinking budget and rising costs. I also had to deal with many different departments, their heads, as well as union and non-union workers. And it's a very similar setup to our school board, as well as the administration and the teacher situation. What I would like to see happen over the next couple of years is, if you would elect me to the board, I believe we really do have a major issue with the budget over the next decade, to be honest. It's going to be the most pressing issue, and it's going to be something we can't just shush away. We're going to continue to have an economy that is not going to allow us to increase revenues, and we're going to have to find a way around that. I do believe we should attempt in any way possible to keep as many programs as we can, but we have to be realistic, and we have to make an attempt now to stop what could snowball in the future and really destroy our school district. We currently have one of the best school districts. I want to keep it that way. As far as how we can look back to see how I've done, again, looking at numbers, looking at our budget deficit, hopefully shrink over the next couple of years would be a nice way to measure it, as well as usual, looking at our children's grades and their education and seeing how they are doing as they leave Boyertown School. I graduated from here. At the time I did, I thought it was the best school in the area, and I had attended many schools. I still think it's the best.
That's 2 minutes. The next person to answer that question would be Barbara Hartford, and a couple folks have asked if the candidates could stand so it's easier to see them in the back. That's the message.
So no one can see us? Barbara, I'd like you to know, I'll give you a 30-second warning.
Thank you. And everyone can hear me. Okay. I think on the table up here, I'm probably the longest person on the school board. I've been on it for 12 years. So I think that qualifies somewhat as far as experience on the school board. Other areas, I would think, starting out on the school board, I originally established what they called an intergovernmental committee, which we met with townships, all 10 of our townships, so that we could get the information from townships on building, what was going on, what that impact would be on our schools as far as students and the housing coming into the district. We also, and I believe Mr. David Heiser would come in with the community relations part. That we had everyone in the community was also invited to all these meetings. That would be one way to interact with everyone. As far as other background, I have about 15 years experience in banking, financial planning, strategic planning. I've been on the Pottstown Regional Metro Planning Committee for approximately 14 years. I've been on the Center for Community for Leadership as the Local Government Advisory Council out of Berks County for the past 7 years. All of those things you can read on my flyer over here. But I think the most important thing is that I come to the school district with children in the district. I started when they were 7 and 9 years old on the board. Both of my sons graduated from Boyertown. One of them is now graduating a week on May 22nd in 4 years from college, and my other one is a sophomore. I have been a volunteer in the schools. I support the programs, and I think the most important thing is to continue to provide the quality education we're providing our students in the future with the most reasonable dollars to support that. In other words, a value for what we're producing in our students.
I'm up. Thank you. Next responder will be Joseph Nichols. Mr. Nichols.
It's not raining, it's thundering outside. It's just this. As far as being qualified, I've been on board 6 years. I'm a former magistrate. I shop steward at back trucks. I dealt with labor issues before this last one that we've had here. I've worked mainly in the maintenance field, and that's what I was doing here. I was chair of the facilities committee for some time, and now I'm the chair of the Tech committee of all the students we have up at Oldie and Burnville. Approximately 200 of them are doing very well. As far as what I've accomplished over the years on the board, soon after I came on board, I got all the vans put out for contract that were being handed out and costing us an awful lot of money. I got that changed. I hate to talk about the eye thing. I got the wiring and all the parking lots put separate so that we're not lighting it up like there's a helicopter coming in the land at night, which would save us a lot of money there. And I initiated a program in the elementary schools. It's called Meet the Meter. Well, what it is they each have a graph, or they're going to have a graph in their classroom of the electric they used last year by the month, and then this year they're going to be taught the heat test. And by doing that, I think it's a learning process. They'll take it with them, and it's not costing us anything. I'm kind of proud of that one. I think that's great. And what I would like to accomplish from here on, if I am elected, is I would like to keep looking at ways to save money. There's things we can do within the district that we can keep it down, and
that's time, sir.
I'm up?
You're done.
Okay, but I want to take care of the students too. That's important.
Next up is Ronald Christie.
Okay, you got to go pretty fast. All right, first of all, I've been in the community. I'm 62 years old. For 53 years, I was in this community. 9 years I was in North Carolina. I taught school down there. I've been an educator for 32 and a half years. I taught for 14 years, and 5 of those were in the Boyertown School District, and I was principal for 18 and a half years at Gilbertsville Elementary School, which was the only elementary school that I was principal of. So I bring to you 24 and a half years of being an educator in this district. So I think I know pretty well, and I just retired in January, so I know pretty well what teachers do, what administrators do in this area. Also, not only did I graduate from high school from Boyertown, my wife graduated from Boyertown, my 2 sons graduated from Boyertown. The one is a doctor in the Navy, the other one is a lawyer out in Pittsburgh. And in fact, the one in Pittsburgh has said he's interested at some point to move back here. So I just want to let you know that Boyertown is dear to my heart. I didn't leave other than those 9 years of being in North Carolina. I'm committed to the children. My record stands as far as being a principal. I think you can ask the people who send children to Gilbertsville, and they will tell you that the children were of the highest. The other thing that I want to get into, because we have to tell what we would accomplish, number one is I really think it's important that we don't split this community. Right now, I remember years ago there was a taxpayer group, and now we have the group that says, please tax us. We cannot split this community. We have to work together. It's got to be all the stakeholders. Everyone must give something, because I believe the academics are important. We have to maintain that. I also believe leadership from the extracurricular.
Next up is Donna Savage.
I'm a long-term resident of the area as well since 1987. I have 3 daughters. One is graduating from college next Saturday. The other 2 are in 11th and 9th grade. I've also been a frequent volunteer in the schools for the past 15 years, the whole time that they've been there. And I volunteer annually at the Montgomery County Science Fair as a judge, so I see what other schools are doing there. I hold a leadership position at a major pharmaceutical company where I've been employed for 23 years, and I have a master's degree in computer science and a bachelor's degree in mathematics. I also hold certifications in project management and Six Sigma methodology, which is a methodology aimed at improving processes and eliminating waste. I was first elected to the board in 2009 to fill the remaining 2 years of a vacated seat, and I'm running again because I believe in the mission of our school to enable all students to succeed in a changing world. And I believe through my own witnessing of my own children's experience that an essential part of that is the diverse offerings that we have for our students. And that is really what helps them succeed when they leave this place. I bring valuable workplace skills to the table, a focus on the customer, our students in this case, a focus on process efficiency, eliminating waste, and long-term strategic planning. And I also hope that I bring a professional demeanor to the board. I've proved that I can apply these skills to the board by leading committees, working effectively with my fellow board members and administration, and infusing business-making decisions into school business. I helped in helping the board and administration come to a decision on a self-insurance issue by introducing a decision-making tool that we used. As crazy as it sounds, I enjoy serving on the board, and I do believe that our children are our future. What I'd like to accomplish is, another thing that I'd like to accomplish is building effective working relationships among the board with administration. Okay.